right, people. Got another Friday. Hope everyone's happy, healthy, successful, doing well, winning in life. Couple of things happened this week that we got to talk about. We're going to get into the Epstein list and all those implications later, but let's get the fun stuff out the way. Not out the way. I actually enjoy it, and I hope you do as well. So, let's first quickly on USA Mexico. Another loss. Mexico, back-to-back Copa America champions. And fully deserved. Sorry, hold on. Fully deserved. Even though both teams were with a weakened squad, USA was more weakened, but I'm not using that as an excuse. We were in that game, we scored in the early, and then the rest of the first 20 minutes USA was in it. The rest of the 70 minutes plus the added time on both halves, Mexico fully deserved it. It could have been worse than 2-1. USA has a big problem. The U.S. Soccer Federation, the USSF, which we talk about on this channel all the time, big problem. Yeah. We need a better goalkeeper than Freeze. He's good at shot stopping on penalty shootouts, but he's bang average everywhere else. Matt Turner is not the answer. I could promise you that. Seen him in Arsenal, he's not good. Also, bang average. Got dropped at Forest. We don't have a winger that can cross a fucking ball. No winger on USA can cross a ball. They're all athletic, like pace merchants. No wide player on the United States. Man or woman, except for Emily Fox. Big up Emily Fox. Olympic gold medalist, Champions League winner, Arsenal football. Let's have it right. Big up Emily Fox every single time. Proper baller. No one else can cross a ball in regardless of what division you want to talk about. And we haven't had a clinical number 9 bad boy finisher since Brian McBride. I was in college when Brian McBride was playing. Yeah, getting busted up by Daniela De Rossi in the World Cup. Remember that? 06 red card, bang, broken nose. Still, Brian McBride lands it. Fulham, cult hero at Fulham. Same with Deuce, Clint Dempsey. But Dempsey was more of like a withdrawn striker, like a false 9. USA hasn't had. We had Altidore for a little bit. Altidore says he's another one of these failed wonder kids like Freddie Adu. We haven't had. We need a ruthless killer up front, striker, and we need wide players, fullbacks and wingers that can actually cross a goddamn ball. And we need a goalkeeper that's not just good on penalty shootouts, because USA used to turn up good goalkeeping. Keller, Guzan, Tim Howard, great goalkeepers. Freeze is not the answer moving forward. I could promise you that. So we lost to Mexico and fully deserved, even though USA had a weaker team. No Musa, no Weah, no McKinney, no Pulisic. I'm not going to get into the reasons why they didn't play or didn't want to play or whatever. We still should have been more competitive in that game. How the fuck have we gotten worse over the last 20 years? I've done this rant enough. We're not going to waste more time on this. Go back to the other streams. We've gotten worse. We're worse than we were in 2002. It's 2025, and we're worse. And we have all the money, all the resources, all the marketing opportunities, all the sponsorships. We have everything at like within arm's reach, and we're still shit. I'm done. At least the women's team, we have Germa, Fox, Nair. I think Nair is retiring soon though, and we have a proper manager, Emma Hayes, world class, elite, top tier manager. Pochettino, he's a good manager, but he's ex Spursy, man. He's a bottle job. He was Spursy, man, for 6 years. No. That's not what I want to see. But so shout out to love the Mexico, the fans. The Mexico fans are just so much fun. But the very disappointing performance in the second half of that final. Extremely disappointing. Now we get to Arsenal Football Club. Noni Madueke. £52 million British sterling pounds for Noni Madueke. What can you say? What can you say about this? What? Remember that list of Chelsea players that Arsenal bought, what we talked about last week? Now we can add him to the list. He can't cross the ball either. His only like really good attribute is he has pace and he's a good dribbler. But he has pace and he's a good dribbler, but yet he can't beat anyone one-on-one. Can't shoot. Short passing is bad. Long range passing is bad. Can't cross. Can't defend. Has a bit of an ego on him, so he has a. So remember when him, Nico Jackson, and Cole Palmer were fighting over the penalty kick? They literally were fighting each other on the field, shoving each other. Then here it goes again. $115 million or 17, I think now. $117 million for Kai Havertz and Noni Madueke. Petr Cech, Jorginho, Sterling, absolute disaster of a signing. Maybe the worst loan signing. Actually, it wasn't. There was two worst loan signings at Arsenal. Denis Suarez, and because he only played like 2 games, and then he was injured the whole time. And the same thing with Kim Kallstrom. Same thing. He played like 100 minutes, both of them. So at least Sterling logged more minutes, but he was, man, he's washed. He's done. He's done. He's completely washed. I don't even think he would. He's just going to collect his check at Chelsea now. I bet you he's not even in the European squad. He might not even be in the Premier League squad. He may not be registered in the squad. He's just going to collect his 300 whatever K a week. And Arsenal have done it again. I forgot about David Luiz as well. Willian. But that was before Arteta. David Luiz was so under Wenger, it was Czech. Emery was David Luiz, and now Arteta was Jorginho, Willian, Sterling, Havertz, Madueke, Jorginho. And guess what Chelsea are going to be able to do with that money? They're going to be able to strengthen their squad, and they flip him for a profit. They bought him for like 30 million, I think. Gets flipped for a profit to Arsenal. For who the fuck knows how? What does he prove that his value increased? And now Chelsea can use that money along with the money they're making on the Club World Cup. They've already made like $90 million by getting to the final. And if they win it, they get a big bonus as well. They're going to be able to use that money and invest it and buy new players. I'm sick of this. I can't do this shit anymore. I can't do it. Listen, and I'm not trying to be overly negative here. I'm just calling it how it is. Every Chelsea player we've bought has been average to poor at Arsenal. None of them have been good. Jorginho, average. Willian, poor. David Luiz, he was okay. Yeah, like decent. Like no one has been good. And we're paying astronomical fees. How do we sell our players? How does Emile Smith Rowe go to Fulham for like 25 million and Noni Madueke is 50 million? God, it's just fucking crazy. It really is. It's mind blowing. Actually, it's actually mind blowing. But we can keep continuing. There has to be some backdoor deal. There's some connection with the ownership, with the Cronkies and Blue Co. and Clear Lake, which makes sense because the Cronkies own the LA Rams. Yeah, there's a. I should show you guys this. We'll bring it up right now. There has to be. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. All right, I got it. Yeah, see that? Look at that. Look at this. Look at that Stan Kroenke, the wrong head. Look at James Tony. Yeah, Big Daddy Bollocks don't want to be Indiana Jones. Of course, he makes this list. Sports empires. So the Cronkies, you see, notice how they own the LA Rams. Yeah, and guess who's trying to take over LA Sports? They just bought. We talked about this. Blue Co. TWG Global. With loans from Bank of America and Ares Management. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we know. So somehow the Cronkies and Clear Lake Capital, TWG, Blue Co., all there's some relationship where Chelsea are willing to do business with Arsenal every time, but they take the piss out of us because they give us all their trash, and we just keep we're like the trash bin for Chelsea. This player is on too high wages. He's getting older. He's not performing up to what our expectations. Like Madueke, give him to Arsenal, and Arsenal pay top dollar for it. This is fucked up, man. It really is deserves investigating. That's how ridiculous it's gone. It's so deflating. I don't even have the energy to get upset anymore. Just the absolute dross we've gotten from Chelsea, and they're laughing all the way to the bank, strengthening their squad, our rival, at our own expense. And it's the man. It's not just Arteta. Like Arteta, yes, I want to. Arteta is a big problem. He's his managerial, his like roster building and personnel deployment is awful. In-game tactical awful. The only thing he's really good at is I'll give it to him that he really cares about Arsenal and he's a charismatic figure. Everything else is shit. Can't make adjustments in the game. Always buying the wrong players. Substitutions like player deployment, starting lineup, substitutions, terrible. Always. And then people say, "Oh, you finished second 3 years in a row." Yeah, that's not good enough. We've almost spent $1 billion, and in 5 years we have no trophies. Manchester United, the worst Manchester United team I've ever seen in my life, factually, since the Premier League era started. Yeah, in the last 32 years, worst Manchester United team. Ten Hag won 2 trophies. He won an FA Cup. He won a League Cup. Spursy won a European trophy. If they win the Super Cup, they're going to equal the 138-year history of Arsenal's European trophy record. Spursy. This shit is it's beyond the joke now. Now you're just insulting the fan base. Or the real fans. The other fans that just lap it up and just want to it's a day out, it's a social gathering. They just want to have want to have the best looking team in the league, all these fashion models and fucking celebrity reality star players. That's all they care about. My player's better than your player. Yeah, but what have we won? I don't give a shit if you're 20 years old or 40 years old. Be good and deliver trophies. I don't care I don't care how many kids you have, what your wife looks like, what clothes you wear, what sneakers you wear, how many magazine covers you can get on, how many television shows you can do, your TikTok posts. I don't give a shit about any of that. Bring me the trophy. I've always said this. Bring me the trophy, and then we can have fun and we'll party all summer. I'll be the first person in line. Why is that so hard to do? And then these fans that like, oh no, we're the atmosphere at the Emirates. There's no atmosphere at the Emirates. There's none. We sing the same stupid song over and over again. That's that song that we took from Liverpool, who took it from Aston Villa. Ole, 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 ole. Yeah, we won the league. We won. What? How does it go? Um, we won the league at Old Trafford. We won it at the Lane. Ole, ole, yeah, you know the song. I hate that song, and it's the only one the fans sing. Then you have the Kai Havertz song, the Shakira. Down the drain, Kai Havertz scores again. Fuck that song too. And then you have the one that everyone knows. Arsenal, Arsenal. Like we need new songs, and this new generation of fans sing like the same four songs over and over and over and over and over again. It's embarrassing, man. Songs that we've actually taken from other teams. Fuck me, dude. It's embarrassing. All right, we can talk. Should we do SmackDown? Yeah, SmackDown was good tonight. It's a big weekend for wrestling. There's a lot of shit. I'm actually gonna do one full episode on WWE because since TKO took over, TKO owns UFC and WWE, and now AAA, which is the Lucha Libre, the Mexican league, and TNA, which used to be a rival. So basically, TKO is trying to monopolize wrestling and combat sports. Since TKO has taken over, the decision making and the booking and the storytelling has been poor, and this is a shame because the roster in pro wrestling, in WWE, in NXT, in AAA, and TNA, if you combine all of them, there hasn't been a better roster, top to bottom, depth, quality than there is right now. In not just in terms of behind the scenes and like personality and the iconic personas, but in ring performance, it's the best it's ever been in the history of professional wrestling. But the story, the writing and the production is good. Everything else is excellent, top tier. The writing, the storytelling is a big problem. And unfortunately, now that the executives and the suits get involved, just like with everything else, just like with Hollywood, when the suits get involved and start dictating what needs to happen based on certain like profitability things, sponsorships, commercializing, marketing, PR, the product starts to sink. And that's what that's what's kind of happening. Like with Jelly Roll was there. Oh yeah. Oh, big up Brian in the chat. My guy, you know. How are you, man? I hope all is well. Yeah, Brian, this fucking the Jelly Roll and Logan Paul are gonna wrestle in a match. Jelly Roll, the country musician, and I have no problem with Jelly Roll. He's a good musician. Not my style of music, but he has a great backstory. He came back from the depths of he had a lot of personal problems. He came back. He's a good singer, good musician. He like writes his. I respect any musician that writes their own song, sings their own song, and creates their own like artistic concept. Jelly Roll's the man. Why is he wrestling Logan Paul? And Logan Paul didn't have to go through the independent circuits of wrestling. He just comes in. He just comes in because he's a YouTube influencer, and uh, the writing team and Triple H are hard up for like followers and engagement and social media traction. Logan Paul immediately gets put into like title pictures. So he's a contender for the title immediately when you have people who've been wrestling for 20 years and the guy just comes and cuts the entire line. It's all for that. Yeah, you saw it on YouTube. Yeah, they're aiming to have a match. This is what I've been told from the whispers because I know people in the industry. We'll get into that more later because Joe Gacy just won a belt tonight, and I know Joe Gacy. through a good friend of mine he knows who he is. He'll watch this on playback. They're gonna wrestle Brian. They're gonna wrestle at SummerSlam. It's good. It's the booking, the story from the whispers I've heard. Or it's going to be Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam in like 4 weeks. What the fuck is going on? it's Logan Paul. As much as I dislike the way he just cut the line, and he's just because he has a massive social media following, he's actually a good wrestler. But Jelly Roll is like, I was like, what are we doing here now? We were going too far. This is too much. And this is what I'm saying. It's like the clowns. It's like Clear Lake. It's all about monetizing um content and maximizing profit. You get Jelly Roll in the ring, you're gonna get clicks, you're gonna get views, you're gonna get engagement, you're gonna get subscriptions for Peacock and stuff, and Netflix and shit like that. It's just Jelly Roll can't wrestle, and there's no disrespect to him. Phenomenal musician. Why is he wrestling at SummerSlam? Are you having me on? What the fuck, man? Yeah, did you hear I taught Madueke? You got rid of Madueke. What a steal for Chelsea, dude. What a deal. Because now they're going to use that money. And I bet you now they'll probably buy another 14-year-old, 15-year-old from somewhere. Yeah, yeah, exactly. We're your number one customer. Fucking, I can't stand this shit anymore. Um, uh, this is just so ridiculous. How many times this is going to be the 8th player we've gotten from Chelsea? When are you going to learn? When are you going to learn? So, oh god, if Saka gets hurt again, that's a massive injury he shouldn't have been playing last year. He shouldn't have come back. If Madueke is the starting right winger for Arsenal, that might be the final straw for me. That might be it. And it's the Cronkies. They love it because they want. I get it, he's a very marketable player. That's why they like it. It's the same thing. There's the same model. They're trying to copy the model of Blueco and the Clowns. Yeah, Josh. Dude, Josh. Fucking, I can't stand it. All right, so now, yeah, let's move on to like the final segment. Let's talk about the Epstein list. Yeah. And I'm not going to talk about the political side of it. I'm just going to talk about what's going on, just like how people are perceiving what's happening. So I'm going to take a different approach to it. I'm not going to get into, do I think it was what happened to him when he was in prison or anything. I'm not going to get into any of that, because I don't want to get but what I do want to address is a couple things. So these, yeah, I think so. It's 4 things. Brian makes a good point there. I think he's definitely, he has several photos he's definitely been to the island. So let's lay out the facts first. All right, because we speak the facts here. There was an island. That's a fact. They had several buildings that were used for, I would say, questionable purposes. All right. That's a fact. There were famous people and public figures and wealthy figures from all over the globe that visited this place. Fact. flight logs which listed all their names. That's a fact. Epstein had massive connections with the financial community in America and global as well. He wasn't so much into the geopolitical stuff, but in the finance world, he had massive connections. Had a gigantic penthouse apartment in in the Upper East Side of New York, and when oh, did he? Callum, oh my God, Hudson and Doy. Um, yeah, people don't forget. So, Upper East Side, they found like very peculiar items when they raided when the FBI raided his apartment when they took him to jail. He had a so that's a fact. He had like a weird picture of him, like a oil painting of him, just himself in the middle of like a yard by himself. It was just like a little bit off key, I would say. And he had Ghislaine Maxwell, who was his madam, who was bringing in the girls. Now, the explanation away from the administration is the explanation is all these girls were it was consensual. They were all cool with it, and they were all of age. Like they were younger. They were teenagers, but they were like 18, 19, 20. They were all of age. Everything was consensual. Nothing malicious or nefarious was going on. That's the explanation. That's what they said at that press conference. Now, we just laid out the facts. Those are the facts. Ghislaine Maxwell went to jail because she was a madam running a brothel on an island in the Caribbean. He Jeffrey Epstein went to jail because he was funding it. Now let's get into what I think happened. All those things are objective facts. Yeah, Maxwell, big wrong it. Just and if the things that are alleged are true, that she's it makes me sick. It makes me physically ill. So now let's get into the speculation. Why didn't they release the list? This is when I want to hit home, and then we'll wrap up after this. This will take like another like 10 minutes. Why wasn't the list released? Four possibilities. Number one, there's names of which is the obvious one. There's names of important people that are on that list that they themselves that are in the government, like you said, like Brian said in the chat, Trump himself is on the list and he doesn't want his name associated with this, along with other politicians, along with other business people, along with other CEOs and etc. etc. You get what I'm saying? Like the people that have power, authority, and wealth. Yeah, that's number one. Number two is another reason that the list didn't come out is maybe there's important people that actually didn't um, engage in criminal activity on the island, but if their name is associated with the island at all in the list, now their reputation is ruined. You see what I'm saying? Like they didn't actually do anything wrong. Because I actually, if you want to ask me my personal opinion, this is just my opinion. This is not fact at all. Now we're getting into the weeds. This is all subjective. This is just how I feel. I don't think Trump himself engaged in any of the criminal activity, but this the intelligence community and the administration doesn't want to release the list because if his name is attached to this, then no one is going to believe that he didn't do anything. It's more of like an image thing, and like we know, like the same thing with the meatloaf and the Clear Lake clowns. Their image is important to them. Then one of the most important thing for these people in these high positions is how the public perceives them. So they don't want to be perceived that way. Yeah, you're right. See, hmm, he was there, and if you, what if he was there and he knew it was happening and he just didn't say anything? Now, what does that say about him too? You see what I'm saying? So now, but like I'm saying, this is all just me speculating, right? But if you ask me what I believe, I don't think he engaged in any of this activity, but he definitely knew what was happening. Number three, there's current ongoing investigations by the intelligence community to bust up other trafficking rings. And if this list comes out, it would ruin and it would like throw a monkey wrench into into the current ongoing investigations, and it would spoil the investigations, because when you're investigating someone privately, you don't want them to know that you're on the case. And if their list comes out, it could create heat, and other, like, maybe even worse, trafficking rings, they're going to catch wind of it, and then they're going to stop what they're doing, and now you can't gather the evidence um to convict them. So that's an interesting angle as well. That one is really interesting. And I saw a video of someone, I think he works in the FBI, or he's a private investigator. Like he's like a special he like he's no, not private investigator. He works for like a private security company that's helping with the investigation. Accomplice merchants. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Brian is landing it in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. So, that's an element which when I was doing my initial research, I didn't think about that part of it. What if they don't want to release the list because there's too many other important investigations going on, and they don't want to spoil those? But if you ask me, I don't know about that one, because I don't think. And then it gets to number four. It's a political bargaining chip. What's the best way to continue to keep your power and to keep other people at bay? You have blackmail over them. And what's the most heinous thing that you can do would be abusing children. And if you have physical evidence of someone abusing children, you don't want to release that, because once you release that, yeah, it's disgusting. I know. I disagree with this part of it, but in terms of a political strategy, if you release that, now you don't have leverage over them. Once they get prosecuted and go to jail, now you can manipulate them and do what you want. Like it's dark to say it, but it's, in terms of a tactical strategy, for them, they want to keep the secret so that they can always say, "Hey, you better do what I say. You better vote for this bill. You better vote for this candidate in this state, or else if you don't do it, I'm going to release what you really did on the island." It's the blackmail, the political blackmail part of it. So those are the four things. Yeah, exactly. You'll not only you'll get canceled, you'll just straight up go to jail. Done. So yeah, it's just, that part is nasty. So I don't know, man. Like this, so there's four. Those are the four potential reasons why the list, or maybe is a combination of all of them. Now, if you want to ask me my opinion, It definitely we laid out the facts. Those are facts. That's indisputable. That's been proved in court, which is why people were imprisoned. We, I think I'm more with Brian here. I think things happened, criminal activities happened on this island. People knew about it. People, like, very, very significant public figures knew about it. And it's become almost like a global geopolitical financial conspiracy to keep this under wraps. And notice how in the press conference, look at what he said. He said, "He's like, oh, you're still. We got floods in Texas. And you want to talk about? Keep wanting to talk about Epstein? Yeah, I want to talk about Epstein. Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to the people in Texas, and that's a fucking tragedy. What happened to them? Another thing where this the climate on the planet is in big trouble when you have I think that excuse me, I think 120 plus people passed, and then there's still like almost 200 people still missing in Texas, dude. That's insane. The storms are getting more frequent and more powerful. And then you're going to have people like those psycho, cuz I'm not even I'm not for extreme, like, crazy progressive Democrats or the extreme crazy conservatives, but at least the Democrats acknowledge that the climate and the environment is very important. You got people on like the way like radical right saying that it doesn't exist. And then every year there's the hurricanes, there's more hurricanes, they're stronger. There's tsunamis, um there's these floods, there's the fires in California. And you're going to sit there and say, "Oh, no, this is not really that big of a deal." Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. See, that's a good point. People on the list that people really look up to and they're inspired by, and then yeah, that I actually heard someone else say that. That's a good point in the chat, where all your like a couple of your heroes, the people that you grew up looking up to, are on the list, and that's going to ruin everything. So that might be like element 4.5. That's another element to it as well. That's a great point. Um, I don't know, man. This is we're living in strange times. Living in strange times. Yeah, who made that song? The Black Keys. It's strange times right now, in not just America, in all over the world. Because like, what happened? Remember what happened with the Panama Papers? That was a news story. This was like almost 10 years ago at this point, where every major political figure and not everyone, but most of the CEOs of every country had all their money in this one bank in Panama. And then I don't know if it was an actual newspaper. I got to double check that, but it was I think it was. They leaked it to, and all of them are connected. They all have their money saved in one bank in Panama. They probably moved in now at this point, but what happened to the investigation with the Panama Papers? Why does everyone forget about that? It's crazy, dude. And it's like, it's well known that there's not that many billionaires in the world. There's only like a couple thousand. And if you don't think that they all know each other and they all talk to each other, then you're gone. You're out of your fucking mind. If you don't think that that they know each other and they actually help each other out, and they're in group chats with each other and shit like that. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll say it. I'll say it. I'll fucking say it. I'm not scared. Yeah, man, Manuel Noriega. Yeah, like offshore accounts. Why is everyone's money in the same bank? Explain that to me. Someone explain that to me. It's not a coincidence. Uh, so yeah, all right. So last thing, Club World Cup final. What do you make of it? Yeah, the loopholes. They always, that's another thing. That's a good point. The same thing with the P Diddy trial. They always get away with it. What does that say about the Department of Justice and the legal system in America? If you have enough money, you just can make anything go away. What the fuck is going on? Are the judges bought? Because a judge is an elected person, so if that's political, you got to run. Lobbyist? Are they paying off the jury? Or are they threatening the jury? Allegedly. Like, once again, I want to reiterate that, 'cause these are wild claims. But all the shit we see on TV that happens, that shit is really happening. Yeah, truth is stranger than fiction. Yeah, the Club World Cup, Lady Luck. I think Propa Chelsea could sneak it on Pence. I actually think they're not getting respected enough. It's been a good tournament. People are saying, "Oh, they had an easy road." Those Brazilian teams aren't easy to beat, man. Palmeiras is good. Flamengo is good. They crushed Chelsea. Let's have right. They absolutely wiped the floor with Chelsea. And Fluminense, it's good too. They're all good. So Chelsea didn't have an easy road. You people that are only saying that are like Europeans that don't ever watch South American football, and they have no respect for it, which is bullshit. That wasn't easy. Benfica, that was lucky that Chelsea avoided Bayern Munich. That was luck. That's what I'll give you. But the rest of it, Palmeiras is good. Palmeiras is legit. Fluminense is legit. PSG is a different animal, though. PSG, I would say, you know what? I'm actually going to predict it goes to penalties. Let's see. I think it will. Who's going to win on penalties, though? Who has the better penalty takers? I mean, I might just go PSG because they have Donnarumma. I think it's PSG and Pence. That's my prediction. But Chelsea will not lose 4-0 like Madrid did. They won't lose. Um, who did PSG also absolutely destroy too, like 5-1 or something. Chelsea won't get demolished. It could easily go PSG on Pence. That's my prediction. I'm gonna say 1-1 PSG win on Pence, or 2-2. I'll go because extra time. All right, I'll go 2. I'm gonna go official prediction right now: 2-2 PSG and Pence. Strictly because Donnarumma is clear of third choice Brian keeper Robert Sanchez. He's embarrassment to my name. I still can't believe you have Robert Sanchez as your number one goalkeeper. That's ridiculous, dude. How are you going to expect to compete for a Premier League title in the Champions League with Robert Sanchez as the number one? No chance, dude. Chelsea need a goalkeeper, they need a center back, and they need another center forward. Still, after almost 2 billion spent. Yeah, but at least I honestly, Chelsea could finish above Arsenal last year. That's how much in the mud we're going to be in. Arteta's going to get sacked before the festive fixtures. I would say by November. If we don't get off to a flying start, he's getting sacked. All right, we're gonna end it there. Brian, salute my guy. Bless up to everyone who's gonna watch this on playback. Like we always say, hope everyone's happy, healthy, doing well, successful, winning in life. And we'll see you. I'll see you next Friday, and we'll talk about that club World Cup final, and we'll talk about um Saturday night's main event and um Evolution, the two WWE pay-per-views this weekend. Later, man.